Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to design a crocheted apple. So first of all we're going to start with an axially symmetric shape. This is similar to what crochet lathe does, except it's done from within CrochetPARADE. For comparison between the two, you might want to check the forum here to where I compare crochet lathe with CrochetPARADE. So anyway, here we are. So let's design an apple. I'm gonna move this control point over here, a little bit like this control point over here, and something like this. Sorry. Okay, so you can control the cross section of the apple and what exactly you want it to look like. Let's say it's a red delicious, something like this. Okay, yeah, this doesn't look too bad. So let's generate it. Here is the generated instructions. So we start with the magic ring, crochet 6 stitches in that ring, so it's an increase. Then we do 6 increases, so 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and 6 times that, and so on and so on. So let's see what it looks like. All right, so guys, as you can see, it doesn't quite look like the profile we inputted here. The reason is there are these negative curvature regions, which when you stuff the apple, they will actually inflate outwards, which is, and all these bumps here will stretch a little bit. So how do we fix this? Well, one way to fix it is to, when you're crocheting this apple, is to connect one end to the other with a piece of yarn of a fixed length. So in other words, create a core. So I'm going to define a core stitch, which will be a copy of just a slip stitch with a height of some very small height, but I want it to be really long. Let's say, I don't know, 12 chains, the equivalent of 12 chains long. So that's, think of this as just a piece of yarn. I mean, you shouldn't be thinking of this as an actual stitch. It's just a piece of yarn that you're sewing through. Okay, and so I'm going to attach that to the 0, 0 stitch. The 0, 0 stitch is the first stitch in the first row, which is the ring. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so there it is. Let me zoom in here. So you can see this is the interior of the apple, and this is the stitch that I just created. This is the core that goes from one end to the other. Okay. So we can play around with this shape a little bit. At this point, I actually want to color it. So let's color it. I want to color the whole thing in red. And I want on the two ends of the apple to have some brown. Now what colors are available? You can check the X11 color names. I'm going to use saddle brown. Here, and by the way, you can use RGB values as well. So you can do something like 255, 55. So red, green, blue value. So it's a red with a little bit of white added to it, if you want one way to think about it. And here I'm going to do saddle brown as well. This is the other end. The core, we're not going to see it, but that doesn't matter really. And we're going to do 5 chains. That will be the stem of the apple. So let's see it. There it is. We have the stem, we have everything. Now I'm going to press C, and that will show us the apple. I'm going to press Ctrl plus to thicken the yarn, and bam. Now, yeah, the color looks more like a tomato-ish. So I'm going to make it darker maybe. Let's see what this looks like. Anyway, you can play around with the colors actually. That's not that important for this tutorial. So It's not a bad apple. I'm gonna press S. When I press S, it will show me any stitches that are overstretched in red, meaning they're too tight, or a bit loose in blue. There is a little bit of blue here. So there are two ways to fix this. Um, the physics engine allows two different keywords to control how much of an inflation we have. One keyword is inflate, default value is infinity, so you can change it to 2, let's say. Another way is to add some viscous iterations. Let's say 100 of them. The default is 10. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit looser. There are a little bit more corrugation here on evenness because it's not as inflated as before. I'm going to press S again. And there's still a little bit of redness, but not as bright red as before. And I don't see any blue left. All right, so let's show the colors again. Ta-da! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that just quadruple the thickness of the apple. Anyway, you can play with these things. If you're curious about viscous iterations and all that, you may want to check out here this announcement here, improved physics engine behind the 3D models. I'll open it up. Here it shows you what the inflate keyword does. Oh wow, this is slow today. And what the viscous iterations keyword does. I hope it loads today. Huh, that's silly. Okay, so there it is. Anyway, you can read about it. Viscous damping, viscous iterations. Anyway, I'm not going to be playing with that today. So at this point, you can share these instructions here, or you can share this shape by exporting it. You can play around with it, of course. I have made a shape which I like better, so let me load it up. Where is it? Here it is. Port. Let's just take a look at it. So as you can see, the apple is it's again an apple shape. Here I added some extra thickness. So when you go to the axially symmetric tool, you can add a little bit of thickness here, and you can look in the tutorials that explains that just adds in that area here that is thicker a few more extra stitches, and it explains why that may be helpful. So once you create the instructions, I'm going to change again the two ends to make them brown and to connect with the core. So I actually had created those instructions earlier. So let's run the code. This one is without viscous iterations, and this red is a little bit brighter, more tomatoey. But there is the apple again. And again, you may like this one better. In fact, this is probably the one I'm going to share on the forum. And here is with a few viscous iterations what it looks like. All right, and again, if you like these instructions, you can just copy them and use them. All right, well, happy crocheting, everybody.